Hi guys, welcome to the fourth and final part of the Snorlax Loomigurumi tutorial. Okay, so in this part we're just going to do the details on his face, and we're going to attach everything. So okay, I'm not going to lie to you, it's going to be quite difficult to do the details on his face because of all these holes. It's easier if you do it on yarn and just embroider the details on. So let's get started. So we want to do his eyes first, so get some black bands. Okay, so what you're going to do first, find the placement of the eye that you want. Okay, let's say I want to start here in the middle. I'm just going to go through roughly two stitches. I'm going to pull a band through both of those stitches. I'm just going to tie a slip knot. So a slip knot here. So what I'm going to do after that is I'm going to go through the next two stitches. So I can go through this one and this one as well, so that's two stitches. Take another black band and you're just going to tie a slip knot through all of that, including the band on your hook. So that's his eye. You can adjust this a little bit, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to attach a clip to the end of this, which I will hide when I attach the face onto his head, and I'm just going to push this to the back. If you want to make the eyes a little bit wider, you can, but I think this is sufficient, or this is what I like. So you want to do that on the same side. So to make it a little bit easier for me, I'm just going to turn his head around. I'm just going to start at the next stitch next to that eye, go through two stitches roughly, take another band, black band, pull this through both of those stitches, and you're just going to tie a slip knot, and you're going to do that again. So go through the same stitch, go through roughly two stitches, pull up a band, so tie that slip knot. I'm just going to clip the end again, and then I'm just going to push this clip to the back. Okay, so that's his eyes. You're going to do the same thing for his mouth. So for his mouth, let's say if I want to start from the middle of his eye, so roughly this stitch, I'm going to go through those. This one's a bit more difficult. Two stitches roughly, take a black band, slip knot. Okay, so I want to make this a little bit wider. Instead of going through this same stitch as the black band, I'm just going to go through the next one and have two stitches as well, just to make it a little bit wider. It might be a little bit tight, you can adjust further. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing, clip the end and push this to the back. Okay, so that's his mouth. You're going to do two fangs at the side, which is actually the tricky part. So you just take your white bands now. So take a white band, you're going to double loop it, so twist it around so there's two loops. So let me just start from this side. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through that, sorry it's not focusing, that same stitch as the black band, and I'm going to go just through one stitch. I'm going to pull this band through that stitch and tie a slip knot. This is a little bit tricky. And then you just want to do a little point. So you grab another white band, double loop it. You might have to adjust according to how your stitches are placed and where you want to place the thing. So what I'm going to do is go through that same stitch. I'm just going to turn it so it's a little bit, so you go to the stitch above, as you can see. I'm going to pull this through everything and tie a slip knot. Okay, and then I'm just going to go through that hole next to it and down to the same stitch that I started off in. I'm going to take another band, double loop it, and I'm just going to pull this through everything and tie a slip knot. So that's one fang. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I want to attach it to the same C-clip or S-clip that I used for the black. So I'm just going to push this through to the back. As you can see, the white bands are still on my hook. It might be easier. Take the other end of my clip. I'm just going to clip it on. And I'm just going to pull my hook out. So that's one fang. Now I'm going to do the same thing for the other side. The other side doesn't have a clip, so you can just add one on your own. So same thing, the same stitch that has the black band, I'm just going to put it through. Just one stitch. Take a white band, double loop it. Then I'm just going to pull it through and tie a slip knot. Okay, from here, I'm going to go through that same stitch and I'm just going to go up. Probably to this one, yes. That goes through two, it's fine, it doesn't really matter, it's just up to, like I said, it's a bit difficult with bands because you have different rounds everywhere and different stitches everywhere. So you might have to adjust according to your own, the face that you made. So I'm just going to pull this through everything, tie a slip knot. I'm going to go back through that same stitch that white band is through, and I'm going to come back to the original stitch and I'm going to tie one more slip knot. So take your white, double loop it, pull this through everything, tie your slip knot. I'm going to clip it here. I know there's a lot of clips, but with double loop bands especially, there's a very high risk of the bands coming out. So you just want to clip it just to secure it. It'll be hidden when you attach it to his head, so you don't really need to worry about it. And I'm just going to push it through to the bottom. So that's his other fang. Okay, so now we're just going to attach this to his head. So take your head. This is his head. And take your body color bands. Sorry, I'm just getting mine. Just bear with me for a while. Okay, so what you want to do is, okay, so this is his head. That's the opening. You just want to attach it to his head like this. Just position it wherever you want. Alright, so sorry, I'm not going to use body color for this. I'll be using his face color. So just start wherever you want. Go through some of the headbands and go through the loops in his face. You can just start anywhere, it's fine. And I'm just going to tie slip knots all the way around just to attach his face to his head. So that's one slip knot. And you're just going to do the same thing all the way around. So just keep going through bands in his head and then bands in his face. And just keep tying slip knots just to attach it. It's okay if it makes his face a little bit wider. It's totally fine because his head is really big anyway, so it shouldn't be a problem. Every now and then you should just double check to see that you've not attached it lopsided, because it could be a little bit difficult if you don't pin it somehow to his head first to make sure the position is correct all the way around. So just double check, like do this and then just double check and then reposition if needed. Okay. So make sure you hide any of the tying off bands and clips behind his face when you're attaching. Okay, so I might have attached his head a little bit too far down because it's really close to the opening of the head, but it's okay. It's not really a problem. If you're a little bit more particular about the placement of the face, then just make sure you get it right, because you tend to stretch the bands a little bit when you attach it, because his face is kind of wrinkly. Oops, wrong color. Okay, so that's the last stitch. I'm just going to clip the end and just stuff it into his head. Okay, so that's his face done. You're going to attach his ears now, so take the ears that you made previously. And the ear placement is actually really up to you as well. I'm just going to squish his head a little bit. I'm just going to put them on top like this. So I'll attach one first. So same thing, go through the headbands and the ear bands. Now using body color bands, just tie slip knots just to attach it. You might catch hold of the stuffing like I have, it's okay. Okay, so that's one ear attached. Once again, I'm just going to clip the end and stuff it into his head. So I'm going to attach the other ear off camera, so just pause the video and attach your other ear, then we'll resume once you've attached the other ear. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is you want to attach his head to his body. So get his head and get his body. I know it's a little bit big, hang on. If you want to do one that's sleeping, which is the one that I want to do now, you just want to attach his head right on top of the body. If you want it sitting down, like the one I did initially, you just want to attach it so that it's down a bit maybe, so that he can sit up. So anyway, I'm just going to attach his head right on top. It doesn't really matter where, it's quite big. So same thing again, you're just going to go through some bands in the body and through the open bands on his head, and you're just going to tie slip knots all the way around. Okay, wait. Let me just start with the middle one so I know I've attached him correctly. As I said, I've put the face a little bit too close to the opening, so it's a little bit tougher. So just slip knots all the way just to attach his head. Okay, his head is a little bit twisted. Never mind, it's alright. Just make sure that when you're attaching it, you just double check that you haven't pulled the bands too tightly anywhere, or you go through the correct bands, otherwise it might end up a little bit twisted like mine, but it's okay for me. If you're a bit more of a perfectionist, then just double check every time you put in a stitch. Okay, so this is my last stitch. As usual, I'm just going to clip the end. And I'm just going to stuff this into his head, just to hide it. Okay, so that's his head attached. He's a little bit too big to fit in the camera, but yeah, there you go. So you want to attach his arms after this. Okay, so his arm, the first thing you want to do is actually close this up. You want to make it flat. So what I suggest doing is put your, you still have this clip on the end. Just put your hook through. You can take this out. You just want to stitch that closed. So just go in through some stitches on both sides. So I'm going through the stitch on this side and the stitch on the other side. I'm just going to take a band. I'm just going to tie a slip knot, so just pull this through everything. Reclaim it. And then just keep doing that until you stitch it closed, so it's just like one line. Do that again. And just one more. Okay, so that's closed. I suggest maybe just doing one more slip knot through this stitch, just so that your band can end up on the end of his arm. Okay, so you can just leave this on your hook. Grab your body. So how you want to attach his arm is, let's do this side first. You want to attach it close to the neck, like this. And just do stitches all the way around, or all the way along that arm, until you end up at the bottom. So I might have stuffed his arm a little bit too much, but it should fall down nicely. So from here, what I'm just going to do is go through some bands in the body. Just go through like the first stitch. Tie a slip knot. And you just want to do that vertically down. So just keep going through some bands in the body. It's not easy. Attaching is always my least favorite part. So just keep going vertically down. and this will be the last one. Okay, so I'm just gonna, you can clip the end and stuff it in, but I'm just gonna wrap this around his arm. Like that. So you want to attach the other arm in the same way. I'll just do that now, hang on. Okay. Okay, so I'm taking his other arm, I'm just gonna do the same thing. Taking out this clip, I'm just gonna stitch the arm closed. And I'm just going to go through this last stitch. So we're attaching this to the body in the same way. Just put it in the same place you did as on the other side. I know it's a bit tricky to see, but I'm just doing the same thing. I'm just going to go through the bands in his arm and his body. Just make sure you've got it the same place. And just stitch it on all the way vertically down. So, okay, I'm done. So I'll just wrap this around his arm again. You can just clip the end and stuff into his body. So that's his arms attached. Okay, so now we're going to attach his feet, which will be the last thing we attach for him. Okay, so we're attaching his feet. Since I'm doing a sleeping Snorlax, I just want to attach it to the bottom of his body, just like this. If you're doing one that's sitting, you just want to attach it to the bottom of his tummy like this, so he can sit down nicely. So, yeah, however you want him to be positioned, that's how you want to position his feet. So mine will be here for this video. So you're just going to do the same thing again. Go through some bands in his feet and in his body, and you're just going to tie slip knots to attach. This is all using body color bands. Okay, so I'll make sure I haven't got it twisted. I'm just going to lay him on his belly. Okay. Oops. Okay, so once I'm done, I'm just going to clip the end. I'm not going to wrap it around his foot this time, and I'm just going to stuff it into his foot. So I'm going to attach this other leg on off camera because it's easier to do it on my lap. So just attach this other leg in the same way. You just want to put the other one here, attach it in the same way, or if you're doing a sitting one, it's up here, and then we're done. I'll just show you the finished product once I've attached this other leg. Okay, so I've attached this other leg, so he looks like this. It's really a bit too big for the camera. Hope you can see him. I'll just lie him down like this. So he's a sleeping Snorlax, so he's meant to be lying down. You can shape his arm so that it comes down a little bit. If you want it closer down to his body, this is what you can do. You can just stitch further down. Stitch further down, so you just don't stop at the opening. You can stitch a few more so that his arms stick to his body like so. Anyway, this is the finished product. I hope you like him. He takes a while to do, and some parts are a little bit difficult to do, but I think he's totally worth it. So if you enjoyed this tutorial, please like this video, or like all the videos in this part of the tutorial. Do subscribe to my channel, so that way I know that you guys want to see more creations, Loomigurumi creations. I enjoy making them. So if you actually have any requests or suggestions of stuff you want to see in the future, do let me know as well. So yeah, just like the video, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you for the next video. Thank you.